You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
What's up, Steeler Nation? Welcome to the Mark Lesko Podcast. I'm your host, J. Rod, and this is Steelers Central. Man, I'm still trying to get over that yesterday's game. Oh my goodness. How crazy. What a crazy, crazy way to start out this season. No one, and again, I think I mentioned it yesterday, no one could have predicted that result. No one could have seen that 34-32 score. And that's what I love about the NFL. In the sense, you can predict things all you want. I think what I predicted we were going to have 31 points, didn't I? I mean, I was pretty darn close, but I did not expect Justin Fields and company just to completely run all over the place on that defense. That defense is interesting and not in a good way. I did not anticipate these many problems, but they did not have an answer whatsoever for Breece Hall or Justin Fields. All the Jets did. Now, again, they brought in some names from, I believe they got the Lions' offensive coordinator or defense. I forget which side, but that's one of their bigger acquisitions. And I know their head coach, I think, was a defensive coordinator or something like that. They brought in names to do something spectacular. And boy, oh boy, did they really do their homework on this team. And again, we've had our issues with the defense recently. The last several games of last season, and now this one, it's showing that we have not improved those problems since last year. But the difference of last year is we didn't have a four-time MVP caliber quarterback before. I mean, and listen, I hate it. I hate that when you have to admit you're wrong when you're wrong. I was wrong. I was so wrong on Rodgers. Only because I didn't think the guy was going to be able to handle himself in the professional manner. I've seen how he handled himself in Green Bay. I saw how he handled himself in New York, and they were all very much the diva way that he had always been known for. And this is a different Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure he still could be that behind closed doors, but he definitely hasn't shown that in the Steeler uniform. So maybe working for a certain organization kind of rips that out of you. I don't really know what the whole transformation has occurred. I know he got married in the off season. Maybe that's a whole different thing. Again, I know he likes Tomlin, so maybe he respects him enough to change it up and button it up enough to never give that an issue. But again, when you look at a game like this that just was so out of the ordinary for both. I mean, I don't think anyone could have seen the Jets putting up 32 points in any game this season, regardless if it was Justin Fields or these new coaches or what. This was just such a surprise. And honestly, I thought it was a good surprise. I mean, I was angry for about 65 to 7% of this game, but they kept answering. They kept keeping it close. They didn't just completely falter. I felt like when we did give the ball back, they kind of did the same. I think that was the nice response to it, where if we went out, we punted it away. I think that series the Jets went 3 and out, or they didn't get it and they punted it away back. So for the most part, if we scored, they scored, or vice versa, whatever. So it was just a overall just fought game. I think everybody knew what was at stake, and they didn't disappoint in that regard. I think Justin Fields gave the performance of his life as a quarterback, and he just did everything he possibly could to get his revenge, and that was the same thing with Rodgers. I mean, who says 41 can't get it done? My. 22 for 30, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. You can't ask for a better day for a quarterback than that. I think he said he tied Peyton Manning for 35 games, 4+ touchdowns or more. It's awesome. Seeing a guy that reliable as your quarterback in charge, being the oldest quarterback that is active right now in the NFL, it's pretty cool. To know that he's almost the same age as Troy Polamalu's number and he is still performing like he had always, 20 years ago in Green Bay. So are we overshooting the fact that he did this one time? I mean, I think we are, to be honest. I don't want to bring anything down about it, but the sustainability of that for a 41-year-old, it's like, gosh, you got to be made out of Teflon. I mean, he got hit pretty hard a couple times. I know he got sacked at least 4 times yesterday because, once again, the biggest issue that I have with this team is the offensive line. Not that the defense doesn't give you more of a, oh my, everything's all over the place, but that's still kind of what we all expected. And they definitely did not do their jobs primarily, Mr. BJ, Mr. Broderick Jones. Every time it's like every other play, Will McDonald is either getting in Rodgers' face or he sacked him. And again, it's not going to get easier for the guy, especially when he takes on the division. The edge rushers in the AFC North are insane. They really are. Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett, come on. This is it's just going to be ridiculous. And again, I'm going to be going into my overall reaction soon, but I mean, that's what you have to kind of look forward to when you finally face an AFC North team. In the AFC North, if anybody knows this, that's what we're famous for, guys. We just produce these tanks and just heavy machinery. We're like that industrial plant that, you hear the clanging of the chain, you hear the smashing of the equipment. It just produced mean and heavy machinery for the AFC North. That's just what they produce there. These guys are built. They are the most scary and most intimidating players in all of football, and no one wants to deal with it. And again, when you're in the AFC North, guys, the first thing you think of is cold. We are a cold division. We are in the environments of cold when it gets to that winter time. When those big, huge bodies come and hit you, you don't like it at all. It just destroys every ounce of good feeling you have out of you. And that's why I love it so much, guys. You have to love that type of hitting to enjoy. And I dig it. I grew up with that era where that was what you knew. The Ravens and the Steelers is of the late 2000s. My Lord, I'm surprised there aren't buckets of teeth just sitting somewhere. It's just how they hit. And that's what they produce. And I don't know if that was really the case yesterday for the Steelers. I don't think defensively. I think they had 1 sack by Mr. Alex Highsmith. And yeah, TJ had some pretty great moments. People think I don't think he showed up. I kind of agree, but at the same time, I think it was right in the middle. He was there enough. I saw him kind of get a couple of tackles for loss. I know he had a huge batted down ball against Justin Fields. He was there a couple times. He just didn't have the sack. He didn't do the kick like he normally does. Until you see the kick, you don't know TJ's there. And for the most part, people say Patrick Queen didn't show up. I thought that one play in particular, I think it was in the first or second quarter, Garrett had a huge pass caught. It was really tricky for him to pull off, but he did. But Patrick was right there with him and dragged him down almost immediately, because that should have been gone for maybe a touchdown. If he wasn't there in that particular moment, he stopped him, dragged him down, and it was a 3rd and 2 or something like that. It was a really great showing. It was enough. As long as I see your name on the back of the jersey after a play, it's all right, you showed up today. So I did see several guys do what they were supposed to do. The only one that I don't think really showed up was probably I didn't hear Peyton Wilson's name a lot. So I didn't hear Cole Holcomb's name a lot. So I don't know if they had any. I didn't see their jerseys, so I don't know if they had any big moments or not. But it seemed like they were the quiet ones. And yeah, again, the defensive line was just just getting completely debacled. I mean, it was just everyone was letting everything through. And that's what made it a good game, or made it a big scoring game. Because if you stop that, you don't worry about these scores. So it's definitely one of the more important things to keep in mind. Again, it's basically me recapping the game again, but I feel like for the most part, seeing what you saw from Rodgers, and again, the heroes, again, I gave my list yesterday between Rodgers and Boz and Ramsey. They just had the biggest moments. They really showed up. The team looks good enough to be competitive in every facet. So, I mean, yes, the injuries to guys like Deshaun Elliott, I think that he said he has a knee thing right now, and JPJ got some hamstring problem. I know there's a couple other names, and I'm kind of blanking who they are. But, yeah, so you have some guys who could potentially miss some time. And, again, I'll be doing the preview for tomorrow's game tomorrow morning against the Seahawks, and I'll see what happened with them. I know they did lose, so let's just move right then into the next subject, which is the halftime show, getting the overall reaction to week one in the entire NFL. Like, if you look at these scores here, bring it up on my phone here. So what you had yesterday was... So the overall reaction, I mean, again, the Thursday night game with the Eagles and the Cowboys, Eagles won. That's not surprising. I can predict them to go all the way. So they have the Chiefs and Chargers, and the Chargers did win that game. Justin Herbert had a heck of a game. Very, very impressive. And with the Cardinals beating the Saints, I mean, the Saints are completely decimated. They have a new coach. Their whole team is made up of new guys. The Colts destroyed Miami. Holy cow. What is going on in Miami? I'm not saying that I was totally wrong about they might come second in this division, but sure, that's a tough loss right there. I mean, just looking at these numbers. Tua Tagovailoa, 14 for 23, 114 total yards thrown. Oh, my goodness. And then he averaged 5 yards a throw. And then you had a touchdown and 2 interceptions. He got sacked 3 times. He had a quarterback rating of 2. Oh, my goodness. That might be the lowest quarterback rating I've ever seen. And then you turn around and see Zach Wilson. He was 5 for 8, 32 yards. He averaged 4 yards. Man. And you look at Devon Achane, I think that's how you say his name. He has 7 carries, 55 yards. I mean, that's pretty okay. I mean, that's not the greatest, but yeah. I mean, Jalen Waddle and Hill saw all the action pretty much, and they were 40, 30 yards. I mean, good gosh. But then you see the other side of things. Let me take a look at these numbers. Daniel Jones went 22 for 29, 272 with a touchdown. Just got sacked 1 time. That's a quarterback rating of 87. That's pretty darn good, actually. But, of course, Jonathan Taylor had 18 carries for 71 yards. He averaged 4 yards a carry. I mean, that's pretty darn good. And, of course, the former Penn State guy was the most catches, and he just was under the number for the most receiving yards. He was 7. He had 7 receptions. He had 76 yards. I mean, yeah. That's awesome to see that from him. Kudos to that. I mean, to know they have potential and they've got a lot of good things going. I mean, you see they have Daniel Jones was responsible for all the rushing touchdowns. And he had 1 thrown. I think there was 1. Let's see, was there an interception, a pick 6? No. But yeah, that was a pretty darn awesome thing to witness there. The Raiders outlasted the Patriots. The Commanders just took care of business against the Giants. I mean, I'm curious, what are these numbers for the Giants? Russell Wilson was 17 for 37 and 168 yards. Yeah, that's a shame. Hell, Russell Wilson had the most rushing yards of any running back. Oh, my goodness. Yep, Malik Neighbors had the most receiving. Man. That's unbelievable. And Scattaboo had 2 rushes for just -3. Aw, that's a shame. But then the Bengals and the Browns. Of course, again, we went over that yesterday, but seeing the real numbers. 14 for 23 from Joe Burrow. 113 yards. Oh, my God. Quarterback rating of 51. That might be the worst of his career. That's just insane. 21 rushes from Chase Brown. Wow. He had only 43 yards. My goodness. That Cleveland defense must be that good. What was their numbers? Joe Flacco threw 31 for 45. He had 290 total yards throwing. Oh, my God. Again, he's 41 years old himself. He's almost as old as Rodgers. Man, their running backs did jack. But yeah, you hear Jerry Jeudy had 66 yards. Dylan Sampson had 64 yards. Fannin Jr., 63. I don't even know half these names. Yeah. But, I mean, if you look at, like, what they did, yesterday Myles Garrett had 2 sacks, 5 total solo tackles. Yeah, that guy's doing – you're kidding. Devin Bush is a Brown. Oh, my goodness. I did not know that. Wowie. And then with the Buccaneers, they just outlasted the Falcons. I said that would be a close game, and it was. Let's see what Mr. Mayfield did that day. 17 for 32. 167 yards, but he threw 3 touchdowns. Jeez Louise. They must have all been at the goal line or something. Yep, Ibuka, I think it's his tight end. I don't know that name. He had 2 touchdown passes, 4 catches, 67. He averaged 16 yards a catch. And, yeah, Bucky Irving was the other guy who won. And once again, Bucky, like their running backs, oh, good God. 14 rushes, 37 yards. He only averaged 2.7. And, of course, Baker Mayfield had to scramble a bunch. Let me see what. Michael Penix Jr. didn't actually have a bad game. 27 for 42, almost 300 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's not terrible. That's a quarterback rating at 83. And Michael Penix Jr. had a touchdown rush. Bijan Robinson, 100 yards and a touchdown. Dang, that is a heck of a day for a right wide receiver. Good for him. Now, let's look at this 49ers Seahawks, 17-13. Brock Purdy had 26 for 35, 277 yards, had 2 touchdowns but 2 interceptions, sacked once. That's not terrible. Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries, 69 yards. That's average of 3 yards. That's not that great. But, of course, George Kittle had a touchdown yesterday. Wow, Ricky Parcell had 108 total receiving yards. Dang. Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, that was a pretty darn good result. The Broncos did outlast the Titans. Let's see what Bo Nix did. I know he had 25 for 40, 176 yards, and he had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. That is a quarterback rating of 19.2. Yay. J.K. Dobbins, he was a former Raven. Now he's with them. 16 carries, 63 yards, averaged 4 yards a carry, got a touchdown. Pretty impressive. But Cortland Sutton had 61 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that guy is absolutely fantastic. It's an interesting team. I don't know how they're going to look overall, but again, they may have a chance of getting to the playoffs, maybe. But I think the biggest surprise yesterday was, of course, the Packers just destroyed the Lions. I mean, the Lions looked like they didn't have anything going for them. Jared Goff was 31-39, and he had 225 yards total. Touchdown and interception. The quarterback rating of 52.9. Eek. And the running game was atrocious. David Montgomery only averaged 2.3 yards a carry, 25 total yards. That was the best a running back did in that game. Wow. And, yeah, there was really nothing to write about. I mean, Sam Laporta had 79 yards. Ramona St. Brown had 45. And Gibbs had 31. Yeah, it was just like they just went quiet in that game. But again, the system for the Packers, they've been really, really building up for the last couple of years. So they're still young, but they are really starting to develop. I mean, Jordan Love, he had a pretty fair day, 16 for 22, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not that impressive, but it's a quarterback rating of 92. And Josh Jacobs had a day, 66 yards, 3.5 yards a carry. I mean, touchdown. That's against that Lions defense. That's pretty good. And Ramon Dobbs had 2 catches for 48. He averaged 34 yards each time. And Jaden Reed, 45 yards, a touchdown. And Tucker Kraft had a touchdown. I mean, I don't know any of that. Nope. But yeah, their defense, my goodness, they had a day against Jared Goff. Rashawn Gary had a sack and a half. Micah Parsons had a sack. Lucas Van Ness has a half a sack. Yeah, they definitely took care of business against them yesterday. And the Rams outlasted the Texans 14-9. Ooh, talk about just a nail biter of a game. Wow, CJ Stroud, 19 for 27, 188 yards and an interception. Jeez Louise. Nick Chubb is now a Texan, and he had 60 yards rushing, but that was the most impressive thing. CJ Stroud ran a couple of rushes, not a single touchdown. And again, you have these names, Dalton Schultz, Jaden Higgins, Nico Collins, like none of them had a good game. Yep, that was pretty pathetic by them. That's why they lost. I mean, you have Matthew Stafford, who is going to be 37 soon. He was 21 for 29, 245 yards and a touchdown, which is a quarterback rating of 62. Terrible. But Kyren Williams, he was 66 yards rushing, had almost 4 yards of rush, and had a touchdown. Puka Nacua had 130 yards. Holy cow. Without a touchdown, I mean, man, that could have been the day. But now Devontae Adams is now a Ram. Fascinating. And that game last night, Sunday night game, what? Listen, I'm sorry. You gotta laugh as a Steeler fan. I'm sorry. You just watch how that. I looked at the score last, and it was like there was at least 2-3 touchdowns score ahead, and I'm like, screw the Bills. Like, this is insane. And I'll tell you this: I know friends that are Bills fans that were at that game. I hope they didn't leave. I hope they did not leave early. If they did, they're probably kicking themselves to this day or to this morning. 22 points in the fourth quarter. Oh my gosh. That's nuts. Like, what was the end of this game? Like, in the fourth quarter, touchdown. And then Derrick Henry, touchdown. And then touchdown, field goal. Yeah. Josh Allen threw for 394 yards in this game, had 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson went 14 for 19 with 2 touchdowns. I'm not really impressed with that in the sense, like, you know you have 40 points, but Derrick Henry, 33 years old now, had rushed for 18 carries and had 2 touchdowns. He had 169 yards and 18 carries. That is almost 12, 15 yards a carry. Good God. He's just unstoppable. But, you know, Coleman for the Bills, he had 112 yards and he had a touchdown. Zay Flowers had 143 yards and a touchdown. Who had him in his fantasy league? Sorry, I knew it. I knew he was the most important player for the wide receiving corps. Yeah, that is the craziest ending. The craziest. The fact that they were up 40-20 at one point and they let them score 22 points to just have 1 point loss. Dang. Now, the only game I haven't covered is because it hasn't happened yet is going to be the Vikings taking on the Bears. I'd like to think that the Vikings will show up, but crazy things have happened. I mean, again, I don't think anyone predicted this game that we went through. So it's been a crazy first start to the season. What does it say with my final thoughts? It says that, you know, the Steelers, they definitely have more questions on one side, and they answered a couple questions on the other side, where it was like, we didn't know what the offense was going to look like, but we knew what the defense was going to be. Now we don't know what the defense is going to be, but we know what the offense can do. It's like kind of a up and down, backwards thing. But guys, you do know that in this league, in this game, you need to score. And this 41-year-old guy is doing what he is supposed. Like, you can't ask more from a dude who's that age doing this at that kind of competitive level. I mean, this is awesome. I admit I'm wrong. I hope that it just keeps continuing to go in that direction. And yeah, that was just the best result we could have probably have asked for. In terms like you just got to be competitive. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep going forward. So yeah, I'm really excited for this next game, and I will see you guys tomorrow when I review or preview the Seahawks game for our first home one. So let's keep it going, guys. I hope this season is as exciting as it has been, and the result is the same. So until next time, here we go, Steelers.